All right. Okay, so you guys can start to find your way into a comfortable seat. I see we have, oh, Sarah's on with us. Hi, Sophie and Steven and his cat and Anya and her dog. All righty. Good. Come to sit and close the eyes. Our practice this morning is more hatha style. It's not going to be full of a bunch of chaturangas and vinyasas. However, if you wanted to add those in, you are more than welcome to at any time. So keep that in mind. Roll your shoulders back down. Feel the shoulder blades sliding down the back ribs. Bring attention to your seat where your sitting bones are rooted into the mat underneath you, and create a lift upwards through the crown of your head, creating some length and lift through the crown of your head. Let's begin with just some really mindful breaths in, maybe out through the mouth, just shifting more and more of your attention into this moment. Take one more breath like that. And now bring one hand to your belly, just below your navel. We're going to be pumping this part of the body in Kapalabhati breaths. And this style of breath just starts to heat us up and energizes us for our practice. Like I said, we're not doing a bunch of chaturangas and vinyasas. So we need something to kind of energize us from the inside out and create some heat. So this breath, if you haven't practiced, I'll demonstrate briefly. It's just a quick exhale through the nose, a sharp breath out, and a passive breath in. It sounds like this. It's kind of like you're trying to blow lint off the tip of your nose with your out breath, or blow out a candle. That's the energy you can think of when you're doing it. We're going to do 3 rounds, and I'll cue you when to start and when to finish. So take a full breath in to start, a long breath out. I'm going to breathe in about halfway in, so not a full breath, and we'll begin. Let your breath out. And then just take a full breath in, and I want you to hold the breath in. So it's retention. Retentions are really powerful. There's studies that show that we can actually give our immune system a huge boost by holding the breath. So as you sip the breath in and you lock the breath in at the top, try not to get stressed out or worried. If you feel tension rising in your body or your mind, just breathe. 3, 2, and exhale all your breath out. And then just take a natural breath. And then if it helps to have your palm on your belly, place it there again. We'll begin. Halfway in with the breath and start. Big breath in. Long breath out. Big breath in. Hold at the top, eyes closed, holding your breath, locking it in. Keep the breath retained. Hold it in. 3, 2, 1. Let it out. All the way out. All the way out. And then a natural breath in. A natural breath out. Okay. And we're getting ready for that third round. So just stick with it. Breathe in about halfway. And we'll start. 3, 2, 1. Full breath in. Let's hold here. So sip in the breath, hold the breath. Let your attention go inward. Exhale all the breath out. And just notice how you feel as you take a couple breaths here. I had to relocate. It started raining on me outside, so I had an alternate space set up. A little change of scenery on my end. When you feel ready, come to child's pose. So just shift forward over the knees. Bring your big toes to touch and rest your hips back to your heels. Walk the arms all the way out and drop the forehead to the floor. And just rest here. Notice your breaths. We're going to breathe into Ujjayi breath now. So it's a new type of pranayama and it makes an audible sound through the nose. Good. Feeling your hips really settled back to your heels. Melt your forehead and any thoughts in your mind down into the earth. Surrender any distractions, thinking. And then slowly rising up into your hands. So you just come up to your tabletop pose. Finding neutral, so shoulders are over your wrists and the hips are over the knees. Spread your left hand really wide and push it firmly into the mat. So left palm is really rooting. Take the right arm and start to reach it out to the right and up towards the ceiling. So you're twisting your chest to the right side of your space, reaching up through that top arm. With your next breath out, take the right arm underneath you. Send it through to the left and drop to your right shoulder and your right ear. Your left hand can stay on the floor or you can wrap it around your low back. Keep your hips as level as you can, still reaching them slightly back towards the heels, but keeping the hips stacked over the knees. Close your eyes and smooth out your breath. Feel your low belly moving with the breath. Maybe you're able to rotate your chest just a little bit further towards the left side of your space. Let's let this breath go. And at the bottom of this exhale breath, place your left palm back down, reach your right arm all the way back up. So going into that counter twist and circling the right hand down to meet the left. Spread your right palm, take your left arm, reach it out, up, and really push into the right hand to get that rotation. So you're reaching like there's something to grab with your left hand. Then sending it through. Thread the needle, Left arm goes under, left shoulder drops down. Bring the ear all the way to the floor, let your head relax down, and either keep your right palm on the floor or wrap it around your low back. Move the hips a little bit backwards towards the heels, and really pressing into the back of the left arm. All fingernails on your left hand are pressing down. So your left arm isn't just a noodle there. It's active, it's pressing. Maybe you can feel that slight rotation of your chest turning a little bit more to the right here. Stay with your breath, smooth inhales and smooth exhales. Find that your right hand is back on the floor, somewhere supportive, so that on your next breath in, you can unravel and just reach that left arm back up towards the sky. And then just circle the left hand down. We're gonna sit down onto our heels with our toes pointed. So just bring your knees together, sit down, take your fingertips behind you, and see if you can bring the knees up a little bit. Might be just a little tiny bit. Maybe you can get them up a little higher. Keep squeezing your knees together. Relax your face, your jaw. This can be fairly intense. Can you elevate through the heart a little bit if you closed your heart up? Lift your chest. And then slowly bring those knees back down. Knees come to the mat, fingertips forward. Now tuck all 10 toes, all of them. Even that little pesky pinky toe, it gets kind of to escape. So you usually have to reach down and help turn that pinky toe under. Now you're gonna sit your weight into your heels. And for some of us, this is a lot. Those of you that maybe work walking around, standing a lot, or wearing heels, push into all 10 toes and breathe. If you have to jump out of this pose and just sit on your heels with your toes pointed at some point over the next minute or so, you can do that, but try your best to stay. We're gonna bring the right arm under the left arm. So eagle wrap your arms. And then lift your elbows up so that someday maybe the elbows are in line with the shoulders, collarbones. Squeezing your elbows. If this isn't working for you, you can hold onto your shoulders as well. And we're just breathing into the space in the upper back. Close your eyes and think about the inner borders of your shoulder blades growing apart. Maybe moving your heart space backwards to widen and even stretch the skin there. And your feet and toes might really be talking to you. Meet that intensity with the intention of just breathing deeper. Take one more breath. Good, release your arms. Ooh, untuck your toes. Now you get to sit onto your heels. Toes pointed. Nice. Let's do the other side. Unless you want to still be in toes in broken toe pose on this side, but I'm gonna opt out of it for this next minute. So squeeze your elbows, your left is under your right. And just notice any differences. Remember, you can hold your shoulders if you need to. Lift your elbows in line with your shoulders, your collarbones. Chin is level to the floor. And then press into your palms and intertwine your arms like two vines twisting, two ropes. And just breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. As your elbows are lifting, your shoulders are moving down, so don't crowd the sides of your neck. You're starting to heat up the shoulders a bit. Take one more breath. And then release and unravel. All right, come forward to tabletop pose. And we're gonna move through some cows, some cats. So fingers spread wide, inhaling to lift the chest. Let your belly slope down and the tailbone turn up. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your pelvis, drop your head. And just move between those two shapes. Synchronize your breath with your movement. Move your attention to your inner space. So be less concerned with all the external stuff, everything going on right now in your life, and start to focus on the simple act of moving your body with your breath, how that feels. Let's take some hip circles. Bring your hips back towards your left heel, to your right heel, forward and around. Hips back to the left heel, right heel, forward and around. Left heel, right heel, forward and around. Now clock it the other way, to the right heel, over to the left, and around. Take it twice more on your own. And as you get back into tabletop pose, turn your fingertips towards your knees. Palms are down. Start to lean back. The heels of your hands can elevate just a little bit. Breathe here. Stretching into the fingers, the palms, the wrists, the forearms. Shift forward. Flip your hands back to face forward. Drop your elbows down onto the floor. Check that your arms distance. If you turn your palms in, you can hold your biceps. And then turn your palms back down to the mat. So that determines the right distance between your elbows. Pushing into your hands, we're going into dolphin pose. Lift your hips up and keep the knees bent. And let your head drop. You can walk your feet in a little bit. Stay high on your toes for now. And with the knees bent, start to push the floor away with the forearms, sending your chest back towards your toes. With time, you might start to take the thighs back and reach the heels down, starting to straighten your legs more and more. Keep pulling the belly in, pushing the elbows down and forward. Your head might barely brush the floor, but as you push down into your elbows, maybe your head can lift a little bit more off the mat. Take 3 more breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Put your knees down to the floor, nice and wide. Big toes touch. Move back into child's pose. And forehead on the floor, just rest here and feel the effects already of just some little movements into the body. Effects of moving your breath and your body mindfully. I named this practice More Love, Hatha Flow, because I think we could use a little bit more reminder of what we love, especially in this time, this day, these days. And I wanted you to think now about the positives and the joyous things in your life. Maybe name about 2 or 3 of them to yourself. And let's go into our second set of dolphin with those in mind. So coming up to your forearms, tuck your toes under, bring your hips up. Remember to start with the knees bent. Push your forearms down and away. Send your chest towards your toes, and then slowly you might start to straighten your legs. In this set, I'll give you the option to stay here or to play around with just lifting the right leg, pointing the toes, so it's a dolphin, 3-legged dolphin. So your forearms are down and your right leg might come up. Take a breath. If your right leg is up, lower it. Try the left side. And if you're not lifting the legs, you're holding dolphin, building more and more strength into your shoulders as you open your chest. If your left leg is up, take another breath in. And a long breath out. And then drop your left toes down, drop your knees down again, child's pose. Rest your hips back to your heels, forehead onto the floor. Press into your palms, bring yourself up, downward facing dog. So bringing yourself into full down dog probably feels a little bit easier than dolphin. Shake your head out, sway your hips out, paddle your legs out. We're gonna be here for about 10 breaths. Finger pads pressing, inner hands are heavy. The triad or the thumb index side of your hands are rooted down. Spin your biceps forward, your triceps back, and lengthen through your spine. Nice long spine, flat back. You have about 5 more breaths here. Breathing through your nose. A long breath in. A long breath out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Long breath in. Just feeling that heat build. Come up onto your tippy toes. Breathing in. Look forward towards your thumbs. Start to walk your feet to meet the hands. As you come to the top of your mat, come up to a flat back. Lengthening your spine, pull your chest forward, pull your thighs back. And then exhale, let your head and neck go. Uttanasana. Again, a flat back, so breathe in and come up halfway. Try to lift your kneecaps here. Make your legs straight and strong. Exhale, forward fold, bow back in. Last one, come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Zip up through the low belly, pull your chest forward, your shoulders are away from your ears. Exhale, forward fold, bowing in. With the next breath, take your arms all the way up to stand overhead, reaching up high. Inhale. Bring your hands to your heart, exhale. I'm just kneeling so that you can see what's happening in the upper body. Reach your arms back up, full breath in. Interlace your hands, index fingers release, stretch index fingers straight up so you feel the upper arm bones squeezing the sides of your head. And then try to pull your upper arm bones back, even behind the ears maybe, and get a little bit taller. Zip up through the low belly and start to lean down to the left. So take a little side bend. Keep your chest squared. Try to roll your right armpit back just a little bit. So you can keep your gaze forward and lift your chin. Chin away from chest. Take another breath here, in, out. And with strong legs and core, bring yourself all the way back up. Get tall again, lengthen through your spine. Come down the other way, down towards the right. And as you come down to the right again, chin away from chest, gazing forward, feeling that big stretch in your left side. Breathe in. Strong, straight arms, breathe out. And then come all the way back up. Release your arms down to your sides. Spin your palms forward for Tadasana and shrug the shoulders. Bring your feet hip width distance. Bring your arms straight forward, palms down. We're going to start to sit back and down into Utkatasana or chair pose, but the knees are not touching right now. They're in the direction of the toes and the arms are parallel to the floor. Plug your arm bones back. Good. Now, lift up your heels, coming up onto your toe tips. A little more challenging here. Hold 5. 4, soft, steady gaze. Relax your jaw. 3, starting to feel those leg muscles turn on. 4, I'm right here with you. Stick with it. And then 5, come all the way up to your tippy toes. See if you can balance there. Then set the heels down. Good. Inhale the arms all the way up. Big stretch. Forward fold down over your legs. And in this forward fold, grab your big toes. So your index and middle fingers are going to hook around your big toes. Take an inhale, lengthen your spine. And on your exhale, think ribs meet thighs. So don't worry about locking out or straightening your legs right now. Try to sandwich your ribs on your thighs and drop your head down. Let your elbows bend out wide to the left and right sides of the space. Keep your inner feet rooted. Big toe joint, inner heels. If you're looking to straighten the legs from here, think about pushing your heels down more and lifting your sits bones up more. Keep your ribs close or on your thighs and breathe. Three more breaths. Full inhale. Full exhale. Full breath in. Full breath out. Full breath in. Long breath out. Release your big toes. Come up to a flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Bring your hands to your hips. Little soft micro bend in your knees. Press down and stand up. Bring your hands to your low back, kind of actually more at the back of your pelvis. Fingertips are pointing down, elbows are hugging in, and we're just taking a little standing back bend to counter the forward bend. You don't have to go super far, just go far enough that you feel something. Tailbone is dropping, low belly is lifting, heart is open, maybe the gaze goes towards the ceiling. Hold here and breathe. Think about every inhale breath, your low back lengthening, lifting your spine out of the pelvis, and every exhale, firm the shoulder blades behind your back. Make your leg bones really anchored down into the earth. The muscles squeeze the bone, the kneecaps are lifted. One more breath here. And then slowly make your way back up to stand. Good. Inhale the arms overhead, reaching tall. And exhaling, forward fold. Turn your toes out. Bend your knees, come down into Malasana. So a little Malasana squat. It'll be nice on your low back after all of that. We did kind of worked on moving the spine in all directions except a twist, which we'll get to. So as your tailbone drops down, pull your pelvic floor up. Pull your heart towards your thumbs, press your knees wide. You're welcome to stay here. It's a good therapeutic place to stay for the low back and hips. Or begin to stretch your right arm up towards the ceiling. Wrap your right arm around your low back. Maybe now the left hand finds the floor, or the left hand reaches back for the right fingertips. And in some cases, your right hand might even hold the wrist. So you're binding possibly around your left arm, or your left leg, sorry. And then from this bind, turn your chest towards the right side of the space. Try not to let all of your weight dump into the left foot. Share it with the right, lengthen tailbone through crown, spin your chest open, maybe gaze over the right shoulder. Breathe here in. Breathe out. One more breath, breathe in. Breathe out. Releasing your binds. Coming back through center, hands at the heart. Let's try the other side. Left arm reaches up first. Wrap the left arm around the low back. Stay here or set the right fingertips to the mat. You can use your right tricep against the right inner knee as you turn open. Or lean forward so you can get the wrap around the front of the right shin and join your fingertips or take the full bind. Turn your chest open to the left, maybe gaze up over your left shoulder. Just be where you are. You don't have to have the full peak pose to get the benefits here. Pull your pelvic floor up right now and hold it. Widen the knees, spin the chest. Take another breath in. Another breath out. And then just unwind. Come back through center. Place your hands at your heart. Fingertips to the floor. Press up with your hips. Turn your toes forward. Now heel toe your feet as wide as your yoga mat. Bend your knees a little bit. And then slide your shoulders in between your knees. Place your hands in between your feet. So this is stage one. Stage two is putting the hands behind the heels. Snuggling your shoulders back a little further. You can rock your weight. Now in the peak pose, we would actually take the left arm, wrap it around the low back. The right arm, wrap it around the low back, and you would actually bind your fingertips here. I'm not quite there myself, but I can still open my hands near my low back. Squeeze your knees into your shoulders, push your feet into the earth, and take a couple of breaths here in whatever shape you're in. Squeeze the shoulders into the upper arms. Just be where you are. If your hands aren't on the floor, return them down to the mat. Try to bring them behind your heels. And just for fun, start to bend your elbows. Sit onto the backs of your upper arms and look forward. Maybe one foot lifts. Maybe the other foot lifts. Maybe you cross the ankles. Good, Sophie. Take another breath. And then try your best to land down onto your bottom. However you get there is fine. Soles of the feet together. Knees go wide. You can grab your ankles, your feet, your big toes. Stretch your spine up. Get some length after all that. Wiggle it out. And then lean forward into Baddha Konasana. So you can bring the arms forward, drop the head down. Don't worry about how low you go. You're just breathing into the hips. I'm going to be here for about 10 breaths, so no rush to get into the deepest shape. Just listen to your body, listen to its cues. About 5 more breaths. Maybe in the last breath or two, you walk your arms just a little bit further. Drop your head a little bit more. Breathe into the hips and the low back. And then walk your hands back in. So you're bringing yourselves all the way back up to sit. Go ahead. Take your hands to the outsides of your knees. Bring your knees in. Good. Scoop up the backs of your thighs with your hands. Start to lean back and try not to round here. Create that lift and that length, shoulders down, then tip back and just lift the shins to parallel. So you're going into a half boat. You can keep your hands here if you need that extra support, or you can release the arms. Maybe you want to move into the full variation and straighten your legs. And then if you're being an advanced yogi today, then you're smiling in boat. There are lots of advanced yogis this morning. Look past your toes, lift your heart. Good, Emily. Good, Sophie. Good, Mom. Stick with it. 3, 2, and 1. Set those feet down and bring them close to you. Just grab a hold of your knees like so. Just kind of give yourself a squeeze and place the forehead down onto your knees. This is our little rest between sets. We've got 3 boats to do. I'm going to read this little bit to you in the hope to find some solstice, some peace and healing for all that she was ailing, this woman. She sought help from an elderly, from a wise elder. So she goes to this wise elder and she sits on her knees in front of this wise man and spills before him all of her angst, all of her stories of woe. And she speaks of how afraid she is. She talks about how terrified she is of the world warming, of her children's unruly behaviors. She speaks of her fears for the future and of the unknown, what the future may hold. She also tells him of the anger that erupts within her sometimes from out of nowhere, and how her body aches here and there, and how at times her heart feels like it's a stranger to her. So he listens to her stories and all her great pains with his eyes deeply fastened on hers, and there's a long pause as the woman waits to hear what he says. And finally he speaks, and he says, "Ah, yes, but tell me, beloved, what do you love?" And so I think it's such a nice story, a nice reminder for right now when we have so much going on in the media and the world, and all this talk and all this fear and all these insecurities, to remember what it is that we love. So again, come back to that. And then lift your forehead and move back into boat pose. So hands behind your thighs, lean back, lift your chest, float your legs. 5 breaths here. Arms can go out or legs can go straight. Breathe in. Breathe out 1. Breathe in. Breathe out 2. Breathe in, lift your chest. Breathe out 3. Brighten those toes, full breath in. Breathe out 4. Last breath in. Out for 5. Set the feet back down. Grab a hold of your shins, drop your forehead towards your knees. We speak often of our dread and our worry. We speak about judgments. We're fed this fear through the media. And then we open our mouths to regurgitate that fear, that same fear. And we're caught circling and passing on and just handing the baton of turmoil and fear to the next. And I've noticed recently how little we are speaking of what is joyous to us, what is it that we love, and instead just recycling the hurt of the world because we've forgotten to feed ourselves with love. So remember now what you love. Lift your head, hands behind your thighs. Final boat pose, 5 breaths. Lift your legs, reach to the arms, breathe in. Breathe out 1. Breathe in. Breathe out 2. Breathe in. Breathe out 3. You guys are looking good. Breathe in, smile. Breathe out 4. Breathe in. Breathe out 5. Good. Bend those knees. Now put the feet on the floor and try to scoot the feet in really close. And this might not happen for me or for you, but we're going to see what happens. We're going to move right into a chair pose. So feet are together. You're going to shift your weight, let your knees go wide. Lift up, Utkatasana. And if that needs to happen in a different way for you, let that be so. Take a big breath in here. Sit a little deeper. And then stand all the way up. Arms at your sides. Good. We're going back into the chair, but I do want to make sure that your feet are touching. Good. Sit down for chair pose. Reach the arms up. Bring your hands to your heart. Twist to your right so that you're putting your left elbow outside the knee. Begin to spin your chest towards your thumb. So it's a revolved twist. Nice jobs. Pull your outer left hip back just a little bit. Move your knees back. You got it, Laura. And then come back through chair. Try to stay low. We're not doing this flowy thing, so we got to build the heat here. Hands to the heart. Twist the other way. Hook your right elbow outside your left knee. Notice how much that right knee wants to come forward. So scoot your right hip back. Good job, Emily. Turn your heart towards your thumbs. Maybe gaze up over your left shoulder. Nice, Steve. Breathe in. Breathe out. Full breath in. Full breath out. Can you come back up through chair? Just one more breath here. Inhale. And forward fold, exhale. Shake your head out, relax your neck. Open your mouth, maybe let out a ha, let it go. Good, and then go ahead and come up halfway. Bring your hands to your hips, press down, little micro bend in the knees, stand all the way up. Good. Bring your arms overhead and bring your right arm under your left arm. So eagle wrap again. Lifting up your elbows, squeezing your elbows. Good. Now bend your knees and take your right leg over your left leg. Wrap the ankle behind the calf if it's accessible. Turn your knees a little bit to the right. Lift your elbows a little higher. Bend your knees deeper. Sit down. And you can stay in this version of eagle pose or go into the crouching eagle, bringing elbows forward to your knees, holding wherever you're holding. 5, 4, navel to spine. 3, squeeze. 2, and if you're in the crouching eagle, lift up, then press down to rise, come out. Reach your arms up towards the sky. Big breath in, hands to the heart. And if you haven't noticed that feeling right when you get out of an intense posture, that's one of the things I love. That rush, right, when you get to finally exit a long chair or a long eagle. So tune into that. Maybe you love it too. Reach the arms up. Put your left arm under your right arm. Squeeze your elbows, lift your elbows. Bend your knees, take your left leg over your right leg. Wrap the ankle behind the calf if you do that. Turn your knees a little bit left so you bring your right hip forward. Elbows are lifting and you're either staying here in Garudasana or you're gonna round forward and bring your elbows to your knees. Pull your navel to your spine wherever you are. 5, lock your gaze. 4, 3, 2, one more breath. And then on 1, lift your elbows from your knees, step your left foot down. Ooh, reach those arms up, big breath in. Bring your hands to your heart, exhale. Good. Hands on your hips. Shift your weight to your right foot, big step back. Turn to face the long edge of your yoga mat, so you're in a wide stance. Good. Now take your hands behind you in a lace all 10. Stretch your knuckles towards the floor behind you, lifting your heart up. And with an exhale, hinge forward and take Prasarita Padottanasana with the hand variation. Good. You can place your hands down to the floor now. Lock your hands back. And if you'd like to play around with an inversion this morning, now's your chance. You can bring your head down to the mat, tripod headstand, or wrap around the back of your head for Shirshasana headstand. If you want to walk over to your nearest wall, you can kick up against the wall. If you want to get an inversion in, now's your time, or else holding here. If you're upside down, slowly begin to bring those feet back down to the mat. And we'll all meet in a halfway lift, so just come up halfway. And then the blood kind of needs to get to where it needs to go, so just take your time. If you ever feel dizzy when you come up, just come halfway back down again, but hands to hips and just rise. Turn your left toes out. Reach your arms wide. And then lean to the left and drop your hand down to your shin, a block if you have it, or maybe all the way down to the floor. Angle pose. Stretch up through the top arm. Fill your torso with air. So breathe into your belly, your ribs, your chest, your upper back. Trikonasana. Looking good, guys. Try to lean your heart open just a little more, like you can stack your torso over your left thigh. So you want to someday bring the crown of your head in line with the left toes there. And then, mom, you can turn your left toes straight out so they're pointing to the top of your mat, not angled in. Left toes towards me more. Yeah. And I noticed some of you are doing triangle to your right, some of you are doing triangle to your left. It doesn't matter. Just start to come back up and switch sides. So rising, flip your feet around. So opposite side. Good, Steve. Reach your arms wide. Big breath in. So most of you will be going down to the right, but if you did the opposite side, you'll be going down to the left this time. Lean back, pull the shoulder blades down behind you, maybe gazing up. Pushing your feet more firmly into the mat, lean back. Good, Anastasia, stick with it. And take one more breath. Good. And then wherever you are, like you'll walk yourself to a lunge facing what was the front of your yoga mat. Yep, so Laura, you just drop your hands down. You can step back and take your single vinyasa that we're really doing today. So step back and flow. If you're wanting a little more energy in the vinyasa, you might take chaturanga, keeping it mellow, land, moving through cobra. We'll meet back then in downward dog, so press back. Nice big breath in, big breath out. Start to walk your hands backwards towards your feet. You'll come to the back of your yoga mat. Soften the knees. Roll all the way up to standing. So just rolling and letting the arms dangle. The head comes up last. Reach your arms up overhead. And just like we did earlier when we were doing side bends, arms come up, interlace the hands, index fingers release, stretch up. Very nice. Good. From here, step your right foot forward. Lean into the right foot. Bring the back leg up. And your body down, Virabhadrasana 3. Hold here, 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Step back. And bring your right foot next to your left, arms at your sides. Good. Take a breath here. And then second side, so arms stretch up. Release the index fingers, cross the thumbs the other way maybe. Lean into your right foot, step left foot forward. Tip forward, reach through the arms, reach through the back leg, bring your body down like a T. Holding for 5. 4, belly in, reach and stretch. 3. Good, Anya. 2, a little bit lower. Step back. Nice job, Em. And let your front foot step back to meet the back foot. Relax your arms down. Inhale the arms high. Exhale, forward fold. So now we're going to go into standing splits. You're going to shift your weight into your left foot. Take your right leg back. Pull your chest forward first, inhaling, then exhaling and laying your torso down towards your left thigh. Reach through the right toes, spread them and point them. And then maybe take your left hand to your left ankle or calf And pull yourself deeper into this forward bend over your left leg, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Walk your fingertips forward. Let your right foot meet your left foot. Shift your weight into your right foot. Take your left leg back. Long spine, breathe in. Walk your hands back. Frame your right foot. Bring your forehead towards your knees. Spread your left toes. Reach through them. Hold 5. Maybe right hand holding calf or ankle. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Walk your hands back out. Left foot meets the right. And at the back of the mat, turn the toes out. Return into that seat, Malasana, squatting. So you can stay here or at home if you'd like to play around with getting into crow. This is where we'll try that arm balance. The hands come down shoulder width distance. You bring your knees into the upper arms, kind of clasp in. Shift your weight forward into the toes, and maybe one or both of your feet can float up off the mat. Bend your elbows so that you create a shelf as well for your knees and shins. Gaze slightly forward. Pull the belly in and hold there for about 5 breaths. Good tries. Awesome jobs. Have a seat. Just drop your hips down. Okay, so we're going to move into a pose called double pigeon. Agni Stambhasana. I'll face you so you can see. We're going to have the right shin down on the bottom, and then we're going to try our best to take the left shin on top. What will happen if your hips are tight is what's happening in my body. The left knee is pretty far away from the foot. You can put a bundle of blankets or pillow right here, or you can just rest here. Flex the feet. Your left hand might come onto the left knee. You can just gently ease it down. If you're comfortable here and your shins are stacked, getting a good stretch, but maybe you want more, bring your fingertips forward. And then walk the hands out. If you are trying to do this, it's just not working. Left shin in front of right shin. So it ends up being Sukhasana. Left shin in front of right. So just find the shape that works for you. Start to walk your arms out. You can drop the head down, relax the neck. Close the eyes, soften the jaw. I want you through this practice to remember the present moment, to remember that life is full of that which is hard. Life is full of that which is also heartbreaking and challenging. But we are each held together by a love that knows no bounds. That we're here to grow and to know love. And as we open inwardly through this practice, our meditation at the end, just opening each place of love that we carry inside of us. As Carl Sagan says, for such small creatures such as we, the vastness is only bearable through love. And walk your hands back in if you were in the fold. And then keep your bottom shin as it is. And I'm not mirroring you, so I know that this looks like the opposite, but I've lifted my left foot. I'm grabbing my left foot with my right hand, my left knee with my left hand. So it's like you're holding onto your lower leg bone with your hands. If you can go deeper than this, elbows around foot, elbows around knee, clasp the hands, flex the left foot. And this is called rock the baby. So just move your hips side to side, really lubricating that joint. We're going to try something a little fun. If you have that strap or that belt or that dog leash nearby, you can use it. If you don't worry about it. Take your left arm and try to slide it underneath your left shin. I usually take my left hand to the calf and roll the calf flesh out of the way a little bit, and then position the knee up the arm. The left hand then is going to come to the floor off to the left side, and you'll notice the left knee is clasped around the left upper arm. Take your right hand and just flip the palm so that you're holding the outside edge of your left foot. And from here, you're just going to slowly start to extend the leg, and it doesn't have to go straight, just peeking underneath the right arm into what we call compass pose. In that strap, if you're unable to take this leg straight, you would lasso it around your left foot, hold it with your right hand, and then you would get a little bit of an arm extension as you kick out. So this is called compass pose. Play around with it for another breath. And then you can bend the left knee and just release. And take your legs out straight for a moment. Maybe pat them out. Let's switch. So left shin will be on the bottom and the right shin will be on the top. First, moving into Agni Stambhasana or fire log, remembering the padding under your right knee if you need it, or just modify and put your right shin in front of your left shin. From there, the feet flexed, root down through the sits bones, either stay upright or start to walk your hands forward and out. And just find an edge and breathe there. And walk your hands back in. We're going to go into that rock the baby shape. So left hand holding the right foot, right hand holding the right knee. Pick up the leg. Maybe hook the elbows if you're able to. So get that grip. And then you're moving the leg side to side, back and forth, kind of just lubricating that hip joint. And from here, take a hold of your right foot with your left hand. Just hold it in place. Left hand holding the right foot. Take the right arm under the right leg. You can slide the calf flesh out of the way and put the knee up on the shoulder like you're putting a backpack strap on. And it might not get that high, but just somewhere around your right arm. Take the right hand and bring it down to the floor on the right side of your yoga mat. The left hand has to flip around to grab the top of the right foot. So from holding the sole of the foot with the left hand, just flip the hand and grab the top. And then push into the outer edge of that right foot. As you start to straighten the leg any amount, Lean back a little bit, maybe turn the gaze up and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and wherever you are, bend the knee, slowly unwinding, coming back. Good, and take the legs out straight. Take a moment to move your sitting bone flesh back, your sits bones back, the heels forward, flex the toes, and then breathe in, reach up, come forward over the legs into Paschimottanasana. Pull your heart forward, lifting your ribs and your belly off your thighs for a moment. Stretch your heart forward, and then forward fold, and come down any amount. Relax your neck, relax your jaw. Take another breath in, and another breath out. Slowly begin to pick yourself back up, and make your way onto your backs. As you arrive supine on your mat, let your left leg extend. Just bring your right knee in, catch a hold of the shin, pull the knee towards the chest. And take the right knee across the body, dropping it down to the left. You can take this right arm out and open to the right side of the room. If it feels good, turn your head towards the right hand. Bring the knee back up to center. Let's try this. Let's take the right foot and tuck it into your left hip crease. And then let your right knee fall forward. It's like being in that tree pose. Right knee dropping towards the floor, right foot tucked into the left hip crease. Maybe your foot can stay there and both arms can reach overhead as if you were doing a supine tree. Outer right knee heavy towards the mat, stretching out that inner right hip and groin, and then bringing the knee back slowly towards you, unhooking the ankle from the thigh and releasing the right leg out. Switch sides, left knee to chest, catch the left shin, pull the knee in. A few breaths here. Breathing in. Pull the knee a little bit deeper, a little closer. Big breath in. And pull the knee a little closer. Now take this left knee across and down to the right. You can release your left arm open to the left. Bring the knee back up through center. Take your left foot with your right hand. Tuck your left foot towards your right hip crease and let the left knee fall towards the front of your space. One side might feel a little different. This side's a little tighter for me. Keep working your left knee forward and down. It might not touch the floor. You can leave your right hand on the foot to hold it in place if it feels like it's going to slide off. Take your left arm up overhead, but if your foot will stay put, then both arms up. Taking this supine tree pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. And bring your left knee slowly back up, releasing your left foot out to meet your right foot. Get any last little jitters out, little movements out. Make sure that your body feels comfortable and at ease. And relax your palms turned up. This is Savasana. This is our chance to calm down, tune in, and just absorb the effects of our practice. Let your fingertips curl in, relaxing the hands. Relax your shoulders, feel them melt downwards into the earth. Feel where your back body is touching the ground. Can all those points get just a little heavier and softer? Low back is melting, spreading, hips releasing. Let your breath become your focus and allow it to slowly lift you from all your worries, your fears, your anxieties. Look for the space between your thoughts and let yourself sink into that. And just bring your attention to your heart space as you breathe, feeling the breath passing. A little lift at the chest, little drop at the chest with each breath. Think about what you love. I love the morning. I love the colors in the sky as the sun starts coming up. I love my hot coffee with a little bit of cream. I love when the sun hits the mountains in a certain way and you can see the ridges. I love teaching yoga. I love you guys being here to practice with me. I love listening to a room of yogis breathe in unison, which I'm missing very much. I love warm water. I don't like cold water. I love the tiny little cotton t-shirts that I have to fold for my kids. I love the heaving chest of my dog fast asleep. Think about what you love and what you can share. Noticing how your body responds to your recounting of things you love, that medicinal quality of this simple act. Notice your breath. Take a nice full inhale. A long exhale. Begin to wiggle your fingertips, your toes. When you're ready to, you can bring the knees in. Roll to one side. And slowly make your way up to a comfortable seat. And you'll sit with your shins crossed, hands at your heart. I heard a quote yesterday, and it was, "What if we could think with our hearts and love with our minds?" If we could react and respond to the world from our heart. If we could love from our mind and think only loving thoughts, kind thoughts to ourselves, to others, imagine what the world would be. But let that be an intention that you carry off your mat with you, just attempting to think with your heart, love with your mind. May this practice serve you. Thank you so much for making time to practice from home via Zoom live feed with me this morning. I am so grateful to all of you. Namaste. I'm going to unmute you all on the same thing. Thank you guys. Great job. Thanks for joining me. So good to see some familiar faces. How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Getting by? Good. Keeping busy with these Zooms, so
No, I appreciate it.
yeah, they've been fun. Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys jumping on and figuring out this new technology. For me, at least it was new, figuring it all out, but it's working. Have a great, I don't even know what day it is. I've lost track since we've been home. Tuesday? Have a great Tuesday. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll hopefully see you soon.
Definitely. Thanks, girl.
Bye, guys.
Bye.